get pushed up. I read a story about a little boy by the name of Andy Valdez. He grew up in a single-parent home. They didn't have too much, and so he would sell newspapers on the street corner. This was back in the early 1960s. During the summer, little 8-year-old Andy would go to the same street corner, Main Street and 2nd. He would make 3 cents a paper. After 4 or 5 hours, he'd usually come home with a little more than $1. There was a gentleman named Jack Keller that owned a printing shop across the street. Every morning, Jack would pass by little Andy, but he already had his paper. One day, Andy got his nerve up, and he said, "Hey, mister, why don't you ever buy your paper from me?" That kind of took Jack back, and he laughed. He said, "I don't know, maybe I'll start." That man not only began buying the newspaper from him, but he took little Andy under his wing and began to mentor him. He met with his mom and asked if he could come help at the printing shop. She was thrilled. At 11 years old, Jack started taking Andy to the country club where he belonged, and he taught him how to play tennis. Andy would hear some of the other kids joking behind his back about his clothes, about his race, about how he was different. Jack would tell him, "Don't worry about that, Andy. You don't have a problem. They have the problem." He instilled confidence and self-esteem into this young man. Andy got better and better at tennis. In fact, when he graduated from high school, he was offered a full tennis scholarship to a major university. Nobody in Andy's family had ever gone to college. Andy decided that he was going to become a lawyer because all the people at the country club that wore nice suits were lawyers. He said, "The lawyers dress better than the drug dealers in my neighborhood." Today, it's no longer Andy, it's Judge Andrew Valdez. He's not only a lawyer, he's a state district judge. One of the things that Judge Valdez is known for is he started all these youth mentoring programs helping other troubled teens. Now he's reaching out, helping teenagers that were just like him. And what's interesting is over the years, Judge Valdez lost contact with his friend Jack. He began to wonder about him, worried about how he was doing. So he went back to the printing shop, couldn't find him. Went to the home where Jack lived, but he had moved. He even checked the death records, assuming that he could have died. Still nothing. For 6 years, Judge Valdez looked for his friend Jack. And one day, he was at a grocery store, and he saw this old man over in the corner. He was about to be arrested. He was homeless, disoriented, had health problems. When they looked at each other, their eyes met. He said, "Jack, is that you?" There was a small smile. Jack was in the early stages of Alzheimer's. He had wandered from his home and lost everything. Now it was Judge Valdez's time to return the favor. When you give, your gifts will come back to you. Judge Valdez took Jack in, got him a place to live, and hired somebody to take care of him, to feed him, to watch over him. For the next 4 years, until Jack went to be with the Lord, Judge Valdez would go visit with him time and time again. He said his favorite thing was to walk in and see Jack reading the paper, sitting there eating dinner. That's where it all began. Friends, you never lose when you push people up. Today, Judge Valdez is pushing other young people up. Why? Because Jack pushed him up. When you take time to invest in others, it starts a chain reaction. Not only will you come up higher, but all down the line, people are going to be impacted.